So WWDC took place a couple days ago, and we've been sharing a lot of content revolving around Apple products about the new upcoming software updates. But the most impressive one of them all has to be the iPad. You see, with iPadOS 26, we not only have access to the liquid glass that Apple has across all the other Apple devices, but we actually have additional powerful tools that I wasn't expecting to find on an iPad that are available on the Mac OS side of things. And so in today's video, I'm going to go break down all the best features you need to know and give you my honest feedback if you should download the developer beta on your device. So as always, you know the drill. Timestamps and everything will be in the description down below for your pleasure. Let's get started. So compatible devices, they're listed right there on my screen. Feel free to pause to see if your device is compatible. The device we are using in today's video is an iPad Pro with the M4. And so let's carry on with the best feature of them all, and that is multitasking. Oops, my love of firearms is showing. Let's switch to something more appropriate for all ages, right? So notice on the very bottom over here, we have this new tool, right? That literally lets us create a window like so. So in theory, you could have multiple windows open at once and have quick multitasking abilities. Something you expect to find on a Mac is now finally available on the iPad. And even though we are using an iPad Pro, this is available on other iPads that can run iPadOS 17. And yes, you can open up as many windows as you want and just simply just move it, rearrange it, just like so. And that's another fantastic feature you see on top of here. If you look closely, we did indeed have access to a little window slider for the window we're in. So by simply just doing this, it'll give you quick access to the app, files, edit, view, history, bookmark, windows, and more. So this all varies on the app you're using. So if we're using Procreate, we have access to that one as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if later on down the road, Apple gives us more abilities on other third-party apps to also utilize this toolbar for some clever shortcuts, you know, for third parties. I don't know if you noticed this, but on the top here, this traffic light layout that you typically will find on Mac OS, it's now available here on the iPad. So you can tap the yellow one to minimize it, and it will be stored right here on the bottom. So you can always hop back to it, or you can make it full screen. And of course, the red one allows you to close it entirely. That's really incredible. And if you like to reverse back to like their classic stage mode that we previously had access to, you can always hop back to your settings and go down to the multitasking and gestures, and you still have access to the classic stage manager as well as the full screen view if you just don't want the app windows on the little corner over here. And it updates in real time, as you just see right there. But this is so good to the fact that you could literally just pick and just throw windows like so, and it instantly just snaps in place. So if you like to move it around, you can just throw it and it will snap. And depending on the size you left these windows, another interesting thing is, notice how we just activated the app switcher, right? If I activate it, it retains the shape where you last left it. So I'll go ahead and open up these other apps and like minimize it and open up the multitask. It stays in the shape that we last left it. It continues on and on and on, just like so. And of course, you force close the app, just like so. Absolutely incredible stuff. Another thing you can find is in the Mail app. In the Mail app, these toolbars can be more useful. As you see right here, we have more additional power for that app that we're using. So again, features that you expect to find on Mac OS is now finally on the iPad. It'll be especially useful if you have this combo with like the Magic Keyboard or any Bluetooth wireless keyboard on your iPad as well. Now, stepping out of here, the Folders app also received a nice BAMP update as well. And if you're using like a folder a lot for work purposes, if you long hold on it, if you look closely, you can actually customize the folder by including tags or even adding emojis. So again, some features that we had like on the Mac, now on the iPad to really get your attention. And then if we go ahead and go into list view as an example, this little line over here, you could readjust it like you would on a typical desktop. And then if we click on that photo and click on the image that we selected, it will take us to a preview. But if you don't like that, if we go back to our folders and you long hold, you have an open with category. So if there's a dedicated app you like to take it to, you could just click on it right here. saving you more time, because previously I had to do like a weird loop around just to allow it to do this and open up from the right app that I like to use this for. But then if there's a folder that you're constantly using every single time, you can now click and drag it and drop it directly right here on your toolbar on side. So you have it on standby so you can quickly click and drag certain things. Again, amazing stuff right here to really allow you to be productivity focused on the iPad. And then lastly, one of the massive improvements I noticed is the more battery options and power and information that this iPad gives us now. If we go into our settings real quick, I'm going to make this full screen, showing you the way I was showing you earlier. And let's go into the battery tab. It shows us more information than ever, and sometimes it will even give you some tips too if you're trying to preserve battery life. But down here, it'll give you a brief rundown on what's drawing the most energy. So if you use like third-party accessories, like sometimes I have like a USB hub hooked up to it, and now we'll actually break down the actual time you start using it and how long and how often does that happen. And it works the same way on apps too, if you're trying to track down what app is running in the background, just using all your battery resources. And then there's two new apps that got added. One is the preview app, which was what we previously launched. This one over here, which basically it's a preview app. It allows you to open up all your images, folders, and stuff like that and view it all right here instead of launching the Photos app or something like that. But the other app that got added is the Journal. I personally don't use Journal, but that app that got added previously on iOS 18 is now finally added on iPadOS 26, which allows you to log in all the events and stuff like that, like such as planning or personal things. And the thing about preview is if you open something in preview, like a document or something like that, you do have quick error access to like sign your name or something like that, or make corrections. And you can also take advantage of like the built-in shape shifting ability. So if I draw like an arrow by holding it midway, it will automatically do an arrow icon for me. So those are a quick preview of how to use some of the newly added features that got integrated on iPads for iPadOS 26. Now, my recommendation is do not download this unless you have multiple or spare iPads on standby, because there's a high chance, after all, this is a developer beta, you're doing it at your own risk. So for me personally, I do not recommend it, again, unless you're okay knowing what may end up happening. And since it is beta, don't be upset if it's buggy, crashy, you're just not behaving well. It's a beta again. A lot of people tend to not understand that. But if you want to get your hands on this, if you like to do it the safe way, the public beta will be your best bet to install on your device, and that won't be released until sometime in July. But the official release, the perfected version, once all the bugs and stuff have been resolved, will be released sometime during the fall, typically alongside the launch of, or the unveiling of, the next generation of iPhones is when this software should be available for everybody else to download. There you guys have it. Let me know what's your experience been like with this developer beta in general, not just the iPad. I'm curious. My devices have been laggy, but again, that's all expected when you're running a beta on your devices. Anyways, there you guys have it. If you wish to watch more, be sure to check out this video over there where I highlight all the incredible features that got added on tvOS 26. So if you have an Apple TV box, check out that video over there. There's actually quite a few incredible things that they added that wasn't mentioned during the keynote. Thank you so much for watching.